Surrounded by darkness and faint sounds of a television, I held a young boy's hand, his face visible only by the light of his feeding pump as he drifted off to sleep. I remember his eyelids peacefully fluttering, occasionally smiling at me to check if I was still there with him. We'd only met a few hours before. With hands outstretched from his wheelchair, he welcomed me. We filled our time laughing, immersing ourselves in storybooks and superheroes as he welcomed me into his world of imagination. While we only met hours ago, those warm moments felt as if though they elapsed into minutes, as though I watched him grow up, and minutes to seconds as I began to cherish the tranquil transience of time I spent within a children's hospice. When you think of the word childhood, what thoughts or emotions come to mind? I want you to imagine a memory from those years in your life that still bring you joy today. Guided by our innocence and curiosity, childhood marks the very first stage of our lives and often passes quicker than we can expect. Now, I want you to imagine this memory again, but now within the setting of a pediatric hospice. Just by hearing this term, I want you to raise your hand if your memory now feels a little more fearful or uncertain than before. And also think to yourself, in the shoes of that younger person that you used to be, what would be the one thing that you would need most? I often describe my evenings volunteering at the Roger Nielsen Children's Hospice as a comforting nostalgia, offering end-of-life and respite care, as well as grief services for life-limited children and their families. The hospice prioritizes an interdisciplinary care to help bridge the difficult experiences of childhood illness. Being one of many volunteers rotating through each week, my role to coordinate these play activities for the children has helped me to relive my own childhood, as well as preserve the normalcy of that of my playmates. Childhood marks the very beginning of our lives. It's the part where we experience the world for the first time and is guided by our innocence and curiosity. Moreover, how do we learn about the world around us in childhood? These lived experiences ultimately shape our identity and our skills for the world in the present. We explore the world through childhood, through play. Play is multifaceted, and it helps us hone our skills from collaboration and creativity to our vast imagination and our problem-solving skills. It can also be described by its neurobiological concepts. Pertaining to that, play helps us to develop this adaptability well into our lives. Making up almost 30% of the outermost layer of our brain, the prefrontal cortex is responsible for the multi-step and complex aspects of play. This includes how we think rationally and how we develop our self-identity. Moreover, the limbic system is the brain's most extensive reward circuit, facilitating the release of neurotransmitters, including dopamine, into activities that we find pleasurable and are more likely to do again. The release of these same neurotransmitters during play makes it a pleasurable activity, and it's almost as if the brain begs these essential skills to be learned. From the complexities of our internal thinking to the way that we view the world around us and develop these critical thinking skills. Adapting ourselves through play allows our neural pathways to build and rewire, giving us the skills necessary to take problems head-on throughout our lives. It's so essential. Play is integral to the way that we live our lives every day. Witnessing what I saw in the children's hospice, a lot of aspects of play are overlooked in mainstream healthcare. This could be due to frequent hospitalization or constant uncertainty faced by people living with long-term illnesses. And play can be often overlooked in childhoods that experience this. It's very important to prioritize play. For example, There are many different things that I witnessed in my experiences volunteering in the pediatric hospice. Witnessing my playmates' exposure to frequent hospitalizations and even days-long separation from their families. Going through the simple motions of a craft or telling a story or hearing their favorite song gives them an outlet of familiarity. The sphere of play which these children are in at this point lets them experience their identity apart from the tags of their conditions and also disconnect from their physical discomfort. While fulfilling my role as a hospice volunteer, I learned many things, but I also came across many challenges. Most of the children that I worked with were nonverbal, or had limited mobility, or even had both. Moreover, with new kids coming in every week, I had to memorize countless faces, names, and interests. And I was also initially shy to approach them at first, and I didn't really know how to put myself out there yet. Though my motivation to deliver quality care to these patients has helped me to develop a vast toolbox of skills that would ultimately help me in this role. I learned that within all circumstances, it's important to be in the present moment with these children. I would prioritize conversations at eye level and analyze every facial change that they would make to see what they were interested in that day or what activities they wanted to do. From rocking their wheelchair to giving a reassuring squeeze of a hand, I learned that I needed to always be there for them and show them in a very close way that I'm always there for them and to be there with their challenges. Moreover, creativity and flexibility are important for fulfilling my role in hospice volunteering. When meeting a playmate for the first time, I would first look for stickers or signs on their wheelchair or even designs of their clothing to hint at potential interests that can kickstart our sessions. Additionally, I had to overcome my own fears and preconceptions about volunteering in the palliative care setting, often associated with frequent and very imminent deterioration of health, as well as continuous suffering. The many stigmas surrounding palliative care, and even so for children, are prevalent per the National Institute of Health. I then realized that volunteering in the hospice setting, this field was instead a philosophy to help prioritize the quality of life of these patients and can be implemented at any point in treatment. Being in the present moment with these children helped me to see hospice care as a place of resilience, optimism, and genuine human connection. The one idea that stood out to me and really captivated my academics to my future career endeavors in the future was that volunteering in a hospice was essential to understanding the emotional and social aspects of healthcare. The power of play supports children, just like the medicine or treatment sustaining their health. The sheer optimism that I witnessed echoing through the hospice walls made me realize that the hospice was a place of peace, it was a place of happiness, and it was a place of genuine care. Prioritizing the power of play in the medical setting is so important. So, I ask you to champion the power of play in your own lives. Whether you're singing on the car ride home or rediscovering a favorite hobby, I want you to embrace your childhood selves and see the world with a brighter lens. Because in more ways than we can realize, we need to let play guide us because we all rely on it. Thank you.
Here we go.